So hello everyone, we are here today with us to continue what we have learned in Tailwind. So in the last session, I think we talked about basically the introduction to Tailwind and basically how we write most of the code in the Tailwind syntax. That's the CSS code that we generally know in the Tailwind syntax. So we use the Tailwind playground. That's the Tailwind playground play to write most of the code that we did on the last stream section in the session. So let me share my screen so we can follow through what I'm doing. So we use the Tailwind play. To code along. It's taking much time to load. By the way, I have Chidima and Bolu with me on stream today. So just a shout out to them. It's taking this much time to do like this. My network is kind of on the downside. Okay, yeah, I'm here with us now. So today we are talking about typography and colors in Tailwind CSS. So that's basically the thing we are talking about today: typography and colors. Nothing so out of the ordinary. So we just basically be learning things that we know in CSS. That's basically what we are doing today. We're learning the syntax of how it is written in Tailwind. So topics covered, we're talking about font family and sizes. So that's the first thing we need to talk about. So font families, aside from the fact that you can actually import external fonts with the Google Fonts base. Yes. Chidima, you can hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Bolu is having issues hearing, that's why. Come in. Bolu, can you hear now?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh yeah, sure. So let's continue. So aside from the fact that we can link external fonts to our project, like the way we do it in CSS, by copying the link of the font and pasting it in our head tag, we can also use links like this as well. So if you were to link an external link, that means link an external one, you basically just go to your Google font, the normal way that we do it. Then, when we're creating our Tailwind project, we add a CSS file there. So you basically just paste in the style for that file. I mean, that the style for that particular font in the CSS file. Then you can now import it and write the name of that particular font in the class name, like you do normally in HTML and CSS. But if you want to use the normal fonts that come with Tailwind, you can also do it like this. Let's say we have an H1 tag here. So hello, we are doing typography today. So you basically just come here inside here, normally class, then see font, maybe mono. And then when you use that, you basically change this. So you can see that the font kind of changed from what was there before. So that font mono is one of the links that we have. We have font sans and font serif. So you can test all of those font sans, font serif. Yeah. So those are the three fonts. You can see that they look different. Three of them. So I've seen example. That's how to use like the preferred fonts that come with Tailwind. So the font serif is the modern, clean UI, e.g. dashboard website. Serif, formal or traditional designs, and monospace, code snippets, or developer tools. Those are just, you can see there's just three fonts that are there. So if you want to increase the amount of fonts you use, basically just by import from outside. So yeah. So for font sizes, we have XS, that's extra small. That's when you want your font to be small, very small. Then small, that's SM. Then base is the default, that's the normal size for fonts. Then LG, that's large. XL, extra large. Then 2XL, that's increasingly larger. That means you can change how large the text is. Normally, extra large is XL. But let's say you want 2XL, that means two of, that's twice XL. Do you understand? That's twice of how large that text was before. So that's basically it. So we have XL to 9XL. So from 2XL to 9XL, that's how large. So let's test it on these ones that we have here. So let's say we want to change this one from, so just a text, maybe SM. This one is going to be small, or let's just put LG here. Then I put text to Excel. Then this one text. Then you can put MD. That's text medium. I think there's no text medium. Okay. Is either LG extra large or SM and XS. So remove this one and put maybe XS, extra small, extra small, 2XL and LG. So that's the different sizes of fonts that we have. Then we also have font width. To use font width, you can specify font thin, font light, font normal, font medium, font semi-bold, font bold, and font black. So these are the three the font width class utilities that we have. So let's say for this question, we want to put font bold, so font thin, so font black. So yeah, it works. So you can now check through here and do other ones and you want it. Then letter spacing. That's if you remember in HTML and CSS, we did something about line height. So that's what letter spacing is. So we have tracking tight, tracking normal, and tracking wide. So between the space, you are going to be having a tight spacing, normal spacing, or wide spacing. That's within the text. You can also do that one here. So you just basically come here, say tracking tight, this one, tracking wide. You can see that it basically is spacing between the texts that we have. Then line height is also here. So line height is for leading. Tracking, that's this letter spacing. That's tracking is for the space between the text in the horizontal axis. For line height is spacing the vertical axis. That's between each sentence in a composition, basically. So you see leading, no, there's no line height. Leading tight, that's tight spacing between this thing. Then leading normal and leading loose. So let me test this one for us. So let's say I put a span here. So say my span, I have like a lorem. Yes. So my class, let's say I say leading tight. Like this. Then I say leading loose. You can see that the spacing in between the sentences they reduced. I mean they increased them. Sorry. So that's what leading does. That's for the line height between them. They have text alignment and decoration as well. So you have text left, that's left aligned, text center to center our text, text right to put at the right side, and text justify. That means it's going to be perfect. That means the space will be shared within the text. So it's not going to be at the right, left, or the center. It's just going to fill up the whole space. That's what justify does. So we have text center. Then we have text right, then text justified. Then underline as well is also there. Underline, that's for text decoration. Underline, line through, decoration, dotted, whatever one. If you want to underline through everything, just say underline like this. You don't have to put text decoration on it, just put underline in. The underline is space. Same thing goes for uppercase and lowercase. You just put uppercase like this, and everything turns to uppercase. If you want to look at lowercase, you put lowercase, everything turns to lowercase. So they have color palette. So this color palette, and Tailwind comes with a built-in color palette, customizable in Tailwind or config.js. So this color palette is where you can like save a particular color for future use. So let me show us what's inside this color palette and how it works. But before we do that, I'm going to have to create a new project for this color palette. So I'll come to my Tailwind.css.com. Why I'm saying I'm going to create another project is because in the previous class we taught us how to install or create our like the most recent version of Tailwind. But I don't think this most recent version of Tailwind supports color palettes and also this one and dark mode. There's not support dark mode and this color palette change. So you might have an issue with those ones. But if you want to use those ones, that's color palette, that means you have to, that's just like specifying what's it called? Colors, like we do in CSS, where we save them in a var, VAR, that's a variable. That means anytime we need it, basically just call the name you have saved it in. It's the same thing that we mean by that. So it's custom color palette. That means you're basically selecting the colors that you need and you're putting it in a familiar name. That means anytime you need it, you basically just call upon them. So you're picking a previous version here. That's the 3 point something. I think this one has it. So come to the docs as well, like we did normally. Come to the docs. Stop is loading. So when we are in the docs, then just normal way. So framework guys, CSS, Tailwind CSS. So click the Tailwind CSS. So you just basically copy this one. You open a new project. I think I'm going to have to create a folder for this Tailwind project. I have multiple inside this place. Anyways, let me just create this one. We'll just say color. So I'll paste this one here. So while the project downloads, you can just wait. So I think this one does not want to support the old versions. Okay. As I'm installing you can see npm install dash d Tailwind at 3. I'm trying to install the 3 version. When I install it, it basically installs the version 4 regardless. Mm, high severity. Let's see. So I'll just publish npm objects. I hope you guys are with me.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
You can see MPX Tailwind as Tailwind CSS 4.1.1 18 valid command. So let's just continue. Let's initialize it a different way. That's the way we usually initialize. So we say npm init dash y. It's the same thing. So that's that. So we open it. So create a folder normally. We're going to configure a template part. So we'll copy this Tailwind config.js, we'll create it. Config.js. And this one has like a more confusing part, a confusing way of creating. Then inside SAS you create input.css just normally. I'll paste this one inside it. That's Tailwind based component manipulations. Then we'll save this one inside our package.json as we always do normally. So then we'll create our index.html inside our src aspect. Then we run our terminal. So the project is running now. So I'm to run this on my Tailwind. Should start work. Is it working like this? Not sure. Yes, it is. I think yeah, it is working. It is working because underline is there, font is bold and it's big. So yeah, it's working. Let me check. Underline is showing, but color really show more. Yes, let's come first. Let me remove this underline. It's not showing again. I think the stuff is not installing very well. It's not supported as it was before. That was why. So that's probably why we're having that issue. Let me go and copy this up from here. I think this one should also it should work as it's supposed to. So let's check it now if it still works. If it works now. more position of compass. It's going to open now. See if I knew it. Why we face that issue is because I feel like that former version that we tried to install is not as supported as this one again. That's why most of the things that we did to get to that was giving us issues. So, but one thing I'm sure of is that this new version that we just installed now does not really support custom these custom colors and all of these things. But let's see try it. So default colors use color classes for text and background. Shade ranges from 50 to 900. This one is normal we add colors, but now we now have modifying colors. That means we can add our own colors with a specified name, then use it later. So we can only have that or add that if we have this table.config.js, which is one of the things that comes with the old version of Tailwind. But I think that we have, as we have added it to this new version now, it might also work the same way. But I'm not sure. But let's just try it. So, because the old one, as I'm trying to install it, it's not even working. So let's just try it now. So add this color palette. So basically, just come here. You can see we have this one here, colors. So copy and paste it inside the extend object. So I have this one here too. So we can see that we have inside the colors that we have brand, then light is this color, default is this color, then dark is this color. What you are basically trying to tell is that when you specify light, this particular color that is saved inside here is what is going to be displayed. On default, this is the color. Then when it's dark, this is the color. So let's check how the thing comes out. So if you wanted your background to be this particular color, you have to put BG brand. So you just come here. Let's do something else. Let's just create like a section. So we'll put W full, W full height, screen, and BG brand. Every BG brand like that is supposed to take the default color that is inside here. That's this color default. So let's check if it's working. It's not working. Let's do something. So we have this one showing, but the color of that one is not displaying as it should. This BG brand is supposed to show. So we light, default, and dark. But for now, I think we should just leave it for now. Then in the coming class, that's in the next session, maybe I'm going to make more research about it. Then come and give us information. But for now, that's basically what I have. I know that before I've done this stuff before. We use this brand most of the time when we want to like do a dark mode. When you want to do dark mode, that's when we use it most of the time. So when we have already specified your brand, default, and dark, and you come inside your HTML and you write the styling that you want. Maybe you write text, brand, light. If you put text brand, then inside this 400, you not put, you just put dark or something. So the color of what you put there to be dark is what is going to show. The color of what you put there in light is going to, that's what's going to show. So if you want to do dark mode too, you can also do dark mode like this. So this is dark mode setup. You basically go inside your what's it called? Tailwind has built-in dark mode support. So enabling it is in the config. So you say module.export dark mode class or media, then you add dark classes. So you just say add dark, that's class BG white, text black. Then your dark like this, you just put dark, then you put how you want it to be in dark mode. So for adding dark mode is very easy. So you just come module.export. But that this thing is not working. That's this thing. That what is it called? Where we add this lines. Or Bolu, you have something to say about this color palette stuff.
No.
We just check about it and come and give you more information later. But for now, that's all I have got. So module.export. David has been done for enabling config. So module.export. Okay. Then come and add your dark classes here. So you specify what you want it to be in default. That's the normal light class. That's just a BG white, text black. Then how you want it to be in dark mode to be specified. So if you put dark like this, then your column, and I say BG gray 900. That means in dark mode, the background should be 900. I mean gray 900, and the text should be text white. That will basically what here. So and you have to put a toggle button that basically switches between light and dark mode. That's what you do. Yeah. Then you have something that toggles it. Toggle be changed. So document the document element the class element toggle. So you have to create a JavaScript button that helps you toggle to that one too. So you can see this is dark mode example. So let's create maybe a JavaScript here. Or script. I'm coming. Let me ask something from this guy shortly. Also ask ChatGPT once and for all if the recent this thing. Nice setup already. Your thing with config is correct. The only missing spice is a button that flips the dark mode. Blah, 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 your HTML. So you're going to create theme toggle. Mhm. So let me copy this one too. So this is basically what it did. If you have done, if you have any experience with JavaScript, so basically what we did here is basically what we call DOM manipulation. So maybe we are going to do JavaScript after that. So that's basically how you select specific HTML elements, then apply a particular functionality to it. So the functionality in this case is basically the fact that we want to add a click effect to the button that helps us toggle the colors between the dark mode and the light mode. So we have this button here. Sometimes it might not be a button, it might be a specific icon in your project somewhere. So if we check this, we have this one. Where's the button now? Okay, this is the button here. In Tailwind, you have to specify the background for your button before it shows. That's why this one is not showing. So, and the brand, the colors are not showing. I don't know why it is not supporting. That's why this is not showing. So let's add a background for it. Say background white, I mean black. So that's so if we click on this one. No, this one's not working. Toggle button ID. So const toggle button. Document will get element by team toggle. Why is it not toggling? JavaScript vanilla no framework blah 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 blah. Option about remember use preference. If you want to blah 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 blah. So it's just doing too much. You don't need really everything here. Does it not toggle? There's problem somewhere in the path. Let me just copy everything. The button does not still toggle the colors. Okay. That mode is toggling, but most of your elements don't have that. So nothing visibly changes. Tailwind. But the ones that are changing, the one that are there, this is whining. Oh. See, it does not still work now.
Instead
Nothing still working.
instead of doing the toggle stuff, there should be a way. You know, your browser, you can switch your browser to light mode and dark mode. Since you have already done the code, why don't you manually switch it? At least it will work.
Wait, where is it? Sir?
You go to
I don't even
settings
know
and
where that one
appearance.
is.
Go to settings and go to appearance.
What settings they buy? I mean, I only know the settings. Should be here.
Can you see that down arrow? Go to see that down arrow.
Okay,
That,
yeah.
yes.
Ah, also.
Up.
Okay. Yeah, this is the light mode. Then this is the dark mode. Yeah. Thanks for that. But the JavaScript is not still working. That's the issue here. It's supposed to just work without all of those. Anyways, that's like a way to do it manually as well. So I'll try as much as possible to bring us more like confident information about this. All these ones that we are doing, we lazy have like very small information about it. That's why we have this one like this. And that's because of that's because of the new version of Tailwind that's like a low support for all of these things. That's why. But let me see, ask ChatGPT first. If new version of Tailwind, there's a new support color palettes. I am asking because during the course of project creation, we do not actually create a Tailwind config file, but in the old one there is a config file where we set all those things. Yes, but if it's philosophy changed, long as I think we didn't remove the kitchen, you just stop forcing you to redecorate it before you replace your this thing. So I think when version 4 still supports color palette, okay? All the familiar styles are built in by default. Okay, so this is what it's telling us that most of the thing is that before, most of the styles that they have then are not built in, like slate, grazing, neutral, stone, red, whatever. You can use them immediately. No config file required. So what is telling you that before, most of these colors are not there before. This slate, gray, all of these things, they are not there before in your color palette. But now is now available. So there's no need to always like create a custom color for yourself again. That's why it does not support like having to like write them separately in the custom file. So that's why. So why there is no Tailwind config anymore by default, old Tailwind v2, v3 config files are config file was mandatory. You had to define content part, color, dark mode, etc. But here, you don't need any config, just sensible defaults are auto-enabled. You only create a config file when you need customization. So think of it like this thing with now shapes with fully furnished apartments really bring a toolbox if you want to knock down walls. Example, using color with auto config. So yeah, you don't need to write a custom color only if you want to like write customization. Maybe a project you're working on, the colors that you have to use are specified for the brand. That's where you can now use it and use it maybe minimal. I feel like it's even stressful when you're using it like this, based on the fact that most of the colors you want to use are already there for you. But yeah, I feel like it's understandable now, right? The fact that we don't need config files in our recent additions to that one. Do you guys understand? Abi, you want some more clarifications?
I have to go over it again.
What do you say?
I have to go over it again for a better
Okay,
understanding.
okay,
So I don't know.
okay. So yeah, that marks the end of today's session, basically. So I'll still gonna make more research, yeah. But Tailwind so far has been easier than like our experience with CSS. I feel like that's because when we were writing CSS, we were basically new to all of these things. But our exposure to CSS now has made it easier for us. That means we basically just relate to how we write all of these things in CSS, then think how it will come out using Tailwind. So not really much issues that one. So we can always go back to it. And also we should not like relent because we are not writing any code presently. We should always like practice with our knowledge from HTML and CSS. That means instead of writing a specific code in HTML and CSS, rather write it in your Tailwind so you get better at it because it's stressful to use HTML and CSS in like writing big projects. So when you use Tailwind, you make your work easier and faster. And it only look easier when you actually know it. If you don't know how to write all these things, you might find it stressful or hard to do. So yeah, that's basically all I have to say. So we meet again on Friday. So I think on Friday we are going to be doing components and reusability of table properties or elements. So I'm going to also share the link to us on the chat. So in case you want to view our yeah, the project. So, let me share the link of the notes to us. So you can basically just click on that link or copy the link and paste it in your browser. Then you're able to view notes and also go through it and ask questions if you might have any. So yeah, that marks the end of today's session. Meet again on Friday. Or do you guys have any other thing to say before we conclude? So that I can end the stream.
Nothing from my side.
Okay, okay. Bolu or Toby?
Nothing, nothing.
Nothing.
Sure. Everybody just saying nothing, nothing. Oh yeah, no. So yeah, bye bye, streamers. Happy bye bye, everybody. Meet again.